Hello, how you doing? My name's Mark Ashmore, and over the next sort of 5 minutes I am going to tell you about a project that I've been working on over the past 2 months called Dyslexia and the Creative Mindset. The reason I'm doing this particular video is that in a couple of weeks time I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter, and so what I thought I'd do is let you all know about the idea in this short video, and then you can go to the Facebook page and see a lot more information about the project. And so then when the Kickstarter comes around, you might be interested in getting involved. So a little bit about me, I guess. My dyslexia journey, I guess, started when I was actually diagnosed with dyslexia, which was at the age of 23. I managed to get myself to university to do a creative subject after failing actually 3 times to get into the university system, and that was mainly because of the written tests and things that I had to take, and I was never very academically inclined that way. And I was doing the big essay that you have to hand in as part of your coursework. Now I was doing a theatre studies course at the time, so it was all practically based, was acting, was directing, was creating things, but you had to hand in sort of 10,000 words to sort of sum up your professional practice. And I had one-to-one tuition because you were given a tutor, and I would work really hard on my essay. I had plenty of time to write it. I wasn't cramming it at the last minute because I knew I was always struggling with writing. And when I used to take it in to get it checked, although the content was very good, there were lots of simple mistakes, grammar, spelling, and some structural things that my tutor would pick up on. And I kept having sort of every 2 weeks I would go back and hand in the same essay, and the same things would be there. And she's like, well, aren't you listening to what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you that there are these simple mistakes, and we did that sort of 4 weeks ago and you're still doing the same ones. And I was like, honestly, I've looked at this thing 20 times, slowly gone through each word to make sure it was beat perfect, and still those mistakes were popping up, and so my brain just wasn't registering certain things on the page. And so we did the dyslexia test, and it turns out that on the spectrum of dyslexia, like that, I guess I'm kind of in the middle. So I can read and write, but I do struggle with certain things. So dyslexia is on a spectrum, and so you can't pigeonhole everybody. And so I guess that's where this journey became. I asked a few weeks ago to hear stories from people online, people I've never met, from around the world, to share their dyslexia story of how they got diagnosed, what they've had to overcome, how it's hindered them, how it's benefited them, you know, their stories. And basically it's just so inspiring to hear that there are other people like me out there that have got their own struggles, their own coping mechanisms, their own battles, and their own success stories. And so I guess that's kind of where we're at, is that I'm 36 now, and looking back on my career of where I got to this point of being a filmmaker, being a storyteller, and being able to do everything that I've wanted to do, but it's been such a struggle. I kind of want to give something back, and I've found this community of people online via Facebook and Twitter that really want to engage and create something. And so the Kickstarter that I'll be launching in a couple of weeks is going to be, we're going to create 2 things together as a community. One of them is going to be an animation film, which is going to be an inspiring tale of a young person discovering that they've got dyslexia for the first time and how scary that is, but then going on kind of a magical journey of discovery to figure out that actually dyslexia, if harnessed correctly and with the right teaching and with the right opportunities and confidence, you know, life skills and confidence, you can go on to achieve great things. I mean, when you do the list of famous people and we talk about sort of Albert Einstein and Steven Spielberg and Richard Branson, these type of people, entrepreneurs and moguls that literally do think out of the box, and it's maybe because of their dyslexia that they have that advantage. the film that I want to create, the animation film, wants to be inspiring, it wants to show that advantage, but also I want to give it away for free on YouTube, and it's also going to be kind of not in English. And when I say that, it's going to kind of be a silent film, because dyslexia affects many cultures and languages, and I don't want the language barrier to get in the way of this film inspiring people. So I'm going to look to the old sort of silent films, and I'm going to look to other communicative methods of visual storytelling through animation to kind of get our point across and inspire hopefully millions of people around the world. And I say millions of people because there are examples of there's a specific autism animation that has been shared on our Facebook group that has been seen 22 million times. That's 22 million times. And so I think our dyslexia animation, which could be a series of films or it might be one long film, well, it's going to be around 10 to 15 minutes long, and shared globally through Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat, will be seen millions and millions of times. So that's kind of the benchmark we're going for. And the second thing that I'm going to create is a free to download PDF and also a hardback book, which is going to be called 100 Creative Tales Inspired by Dyslexia. So 100 creative tales inspired by dyslexia. And what this will be a compilation of the stories that you guys out there have been sending to me. And I already have about 60 stories so far, but through this journey we're going to get many hundreds more, I'm sure, or I hope. And I'm going to work with an editor to edit those stories down into, we'll change the names and things like that, but we'll turn them into inspiring tales. And then I'm going to work with illustrators and graphic novel artists and creative visual storytellers that can create maybe scenic art in a page. And we're going to have the story on one side, and then we're going to have the artwork or the graphic novel kind of thing on the other, and we're going to have 100 of these stories. The idea will be that the book will be broken up into maybe people that have just started, in England we call it secondary school or junior school, and then people that are maybe going on to college and stuff. So the book will be accessible to all, or we might end up doing 2 different books. I'm still figuring that out. And basically these are inspiring tales. So it's kind of a resource that teachers can get from the school library. It's something that parents can read to be inspired, to not be worried that their kid's been diagnosed with dyslexia. And it's also for the kids to pick up and go, you know, if they're doing that and they're doing that and they're doing this, then maybe I can do that as well. So they can see positive role models in book form. And of course it's using visual storytelling to get the point across, as well as traditional text-based on the other page. And so I'm really excited about that. And that'll be one of the perks that we do in the Kickstarter, will be to get the hardback version of that book. So using your stories, using my community that I'm kind of involved with now online, is I want to create a 100 stories graphic novel style book, illustrated, and then also an animation, both free resources for the world, for you guys out there to share in your communities and to use as a resource to inspire, and so you don't have to be afraid anymore. Because I think that's one of the major things that I've noticed on this journey, is there are a lot of people that are worried, that have anxiety, that are really afraid of the word dyslexia and what that can mean. And I hope with this project that in a small, tiny way, that it makes an impact and is able to change a few people's lives. And I guess that is why I'm going to spend the next 2 years of my life creating the animation and creating this amazing book. And so in the next couple of weeks I'm going to launch the Kickstarter, saying hopefully pretty much what I'm saying now, but in a more condensed fashion, and we're going to broadcast it to the world. But if you're watching this, please drop me an email at faprojects17@gmail.com. That's faprojects17@gmail.com, and let me know what you think about what I've just said, if it makes sense, if you're inspired by it, and if you would get involved with sharing your story, or maybe you want to get involved in the Kickstarter. Or go join our Facebook, and the links are below here, or up there, wherever the links are on the page, and just let us know what you think. So yeah, that's me, Mark Ashmore. This is my project, and we're going to do it. We're going to make this happen, and I'm really excited. So yeah, let me know what you think, and thanks very much for listening. Bye.